Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. We love to really go deep into these topics, and today we're tackling self-talk head on.
Yeah, should be fun.
We're going to be working with Shad Helmstetter's book, Negative Self-Talk, and How to Change It. And I think
Yeah.
listeners are going to be surprised at just how much this stuff
Right.
really impacts our lives. It's not just like a self-help thing. This is like
It's
real.
just deep. This is
Yeah, this
neuroscience.
is like programming your brain,
It is.
and it really matters.
Yeah, absolutely. So much of it is unconscious as well, right?
Yeah, the statistic that Helmstetter throws out is that something like 77%
Oh, wow.
of
Yeah,
programming we absorb in the first 18 years of life is negative.
I believe it.
It's huge.
Yeah. Think about it. I mean, how many times as a child do you hear no or don't do that
Right.
or be careful?
Right. All that stuff.
Yeah, and you absorb that.
All those warnings. And you think about, like, if you were raised by the enemy or somebody with completely opposite values,
Right. Yeah, you'd be a totally different person.
you'd be totally different.
Absolutely. And that just shows you the impact of that programming.
Yeah, it's huge. So Helmstetter talks about this. He calls it negative self-talk disorder.
Yeah.
NSTD.
Right. And that's not just sort of like everyday negativity. This
Right.
is something that can be really pervasive.
Yeah, and he's saying it's a progressive disorder. It
Like
gets
worse.
worse over time.
Absolutely.
So he has these three levels. And I mean, his names for them are kind of out there, but
I think they're memorable.
they're memorable. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he calls them the beginner,
Uh-huh.
the practicing downer,
Right.
and the graduate negatroid.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously those names are meant to kind of be,
A little bit tongue-in-cheek, but also they make you think.
yeah, they make you think about it.
Yeah, for sure.
But let's talk about, like, what are the actual symptoms? Because people are going to see themselves in these levels.
Right. Yeah. And it's important to recognize them.
Yeah. The beginner, I mean, what's that person like?
The beginner is someone who, maybe they're starting to experience more negative self-talk than usual. They may be doubting themselves more often. They may be feeling a little bit overwhelmed or out of control.
Right, like things are spiraling a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And then we move on to the practicing downer.
The practicing downer, what are they doing?
Well, they're really good at being negative. They've got it down to a science. They're constantly criticizing themselves. They're probably criticizing other people. And they might be a little bit argumentative or withdrawn.
Okay.
So it's starting to impact their relationships and their interactions with others.
Right. And then, like, the worst level, the graduate negatroid.
Yeah, that's a scary one.
So what's happening with that person?
Well, at that point, negativity has really permeated their entire outlook on life. The world seems bleak. They might feel hopeless, helpless.
Right. And it really affects.
It affects their functioning, their ability to work, to have relationships, their enjoyment of life.
To enjoy life.
Yeah, it's pretty severe.
So, I mean, it really is a serious condition. We're talking about this, and the names are kind of funny, but
It is. It's not just being a pessimist. It really can be a debilitating disorder.
absolutely. But, the good news is Helmstetter doesn't just leave us with this diagnosis.
No, exactly. There's a lot we can do about it.
There's a lot we can do about it, and that's what's exciting.
Yeah.
We can actually reprogram our brains.
Yeah. Our brains are amazing. They're so adaptable, so plastic.
Yeah. And that's because of neuroplasticity, which we've talked about before.
Yeah, neuroplasticity is this incredible ability of the brain to change and rewire itself throughout our lives.
Yeah, so we're not stuck with this.
We are not stuck.
It's changeable.
Absolutely.
So how does that actually work?
Yeah.
How do we reprogram our brains?
Well, the key is repetition. It's like anything else. The more you repeat something, the stronger that connection becomes in the brain.
So if you're repeating negative self-talk all the time, those connections are getting stronger.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to start replacing those negative thoughts with positive ones.
Right, and I think that's where people get tripped up because they think, well, I don't believe these positive things.
Yeah.
So how is that going to work?
But the amazing thing is your brain doesn't care if you believe it or not.
It doesn't.
No, it just responds to repetition.
So it's like whatever you're feeding it,
Whatever you're feeding it, it's going to start to believe.
it's going to start believing. And Helmstetter talks about this, that our brains don't actually distinguish between truth and falsehood.
That's a wild concept, isn't it?
It's wild.
Yeah. Our brain is just taking in the information and saying, okay, this is what I'm getting.
Right. So it's like if you're telling yourself, I'm a failure, your brain's like, okay, you're a failure.
Exactly. And it's going to start acting accordingly,
Even if it's not true.
even if it's not true. So That's why it's so important to be mindful of the messages we're giving ourselves
Absolutely.
and to start replacing the negative ones with positive ones, even if we don't believe them at first.
Yeah, so it's a process.
Yeah,
And it takes time.
it does take time,
And it takes effort.
but it's so worth it.
Absolutely. So that's kind of the foundation, right? We understand how the brain works. We understand the power of repetition. But what are the practical steps to actually changing our self-talk? What do we actually do?
Well, that's where Helmstetter introduces his three-step process: monitor, edit, and listen. And I think we should dive into those in the next part of our deep dive.
Yeah, because those are the actionable steps.
They are. They're the tools we need to start making those changes.
Absolutely. So stay tuned, everyone, because we're going to get into those next.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
This is where it gets really exciting.
Excellent.
All right. So we're back and ready to dive into the nitty-gritty of changing our self-talk.
Yeah, let's get practical.
We left off talking about Helmstetter's three-step process. Monitor, edit, listen. Where do we even begin?
Well, that first step, monitor, it's all about awareness. Okay.
Awareness. But how do we become aware of our self-talk? It's like it's all in our heads.
It is. It's this constant chatter. But think of it like tuning into a radio station. You got to find the right frequency. You know what I mean?
Okay, so we're tuning into our thoughts.
Exactly. Start paying attention to the things you're saying to yourself, especially when you're stressed or facing a challenge.
Like write it down or something.
You could, yeah. Or just notice those recurring themes. What phrases keep popping up?
Oh, so like those negative greatest hits playing on repeat.
Yeah, that's the stuff we need to catch.
Okay, got it. So we're monitoring, we're becoming aware.
Mm.
Then what? We edit, right?
Right. Editing is where we challenge those negative thoughts.
But it can't be as simple as just saying, stop thinking that.
No, it's more about reframing. It's about choosing a different story.
So instead of I'm a terrible cook, it's I'm learning and I'll get better.
There you go. That's the spirit. You're focusing on growth and potential.
Okay, so it's a more realistic and like kinder way of talking to ourselves.
Exactly. You're being your own cheerleader instead of your own worst critic.
I like that. So we've monitored, we've edited. What's this listen all about?
This is where those self-talk recordings come in.
Yes. You mentioned those before.
They're like audio programs, almost like guided meditations.
Are they like subliminal messaging?
Kind of, but the messages are actually audible. It's more about repetition and really targeted language.
So it's like we're bathing our brains in positivity.
Exactly. Think of it like learning a new language. The more you're exposed to it, the easier it becomes.
Immersion.
Uh.
Gotcha. So where do we find these self-talk recordings?
Helmstetter has a whole institute dedicated to this. It's called the Self-Talk Institute. They have a website, selftalkplus.com. You can find all sorts of recordings there.
That's amazing. And I think they offer a free trial, right?
They do, so people can try it out before committing.
That's great. So these recordings are a tool, but what about affirmations or reading inspiring books?
Those are great too. The key is finding what resonates with you and being consistent.
Consistency is key. It's like
Mhm.
anything, right? It takes time and effort,
Exactly. You're building new pathways in your brain. It's a process.
but it's so worth it.
Absolutely. And the more you practice, the easier it becomes. It's like working a muscle. It gets stronger.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So how do we know if it's working?
Well, you might notice you're less reactive. Maybe you're handling stress better.
And thinking more positively overall.
For sure. And you might see changes in your relationships, your work.
So it's not just internal, it actually impacts our lives.
Absolutely. It's a ripple effect.
I love that. Okay, so we've got the steps down, but I know people have questions like, what are the challenges people face with this?
That's a great point. And Helmstetter addresses a lot of those in his book. We'll dive into those in the next part.
Perfect. Stay with us, everyone. We're about to tackle some tough questions. Okay, so we're back. And I know people are probably wondering, like, what are the roadblocks? What are the things that get in the way of changing your self-talk?
Yeah, because it sounds almost too good to be true, right? Like, just change your thoughts, change your life.
Right, exactly. So Helmstetter tackles some of these questions head on. Like, one thing he talks about is whether this is compatible with people's spiritual beliefs.
Yeah, that's important. Some folks might think, oh, this is just some new age thing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But he's actually very clear that the principles are based on science, on how the brain works.
Right, neuroscience.
Yeah. So it's not tied to any particular belief system.
Exactly. It's about understanding your mind, regardless of your faith or background.
Yeah. And he actually even quotes a Bible verse, the one about being transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Romans 12:2. I love that verse.
It's like this idea has been around forever. But okay, let's get to the practical stuff. What about changing someone else's self-talk? Can we do that?
Ah, the million-dollar question. I think a lot of people would love to know the answer to that.
Right. Like, what if you have a partner who's really negative? Can you help them?
Well, Helmstetter says it's not really possible to force someone to change their thinking.
Yeah, that makes sense. You can't control other people's thoughts.
Exactly. But he does have a suggestion for partners who want to be supportive.
Okay, what's that?
He recommends playing those self-talk recordings, the ones we were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Just have them playing subtly in the background without making a big deal about it.
So, like, almost subliminal.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's a way to expose their partner to those positive messages without being confrontational.
I love that. That's brilliant. Okay, but what about those of us who are struggling with our own negative self-talk? What if we just don't believe it can change?
I think that's a common feeling, especially if you've been stuck in those negative patterns for a long time.
Right, it feels so ingrained.
But the amazing thing is, our brains are designed to change. That's what neuroplasticity is all about.
So even if you don't believe it'll work, if you keep practicing positive self-talk,
Your brain will start to rewire itself.
wow. So it's like the brain doesn't care about your beliefs, it just responds to the input.
Exactly. Keep feeding it those positive messages, and it will start to change.
It's so hopeful.
Mm.
Okay, but is there a downside? Can we be too positive?
It's a valid question, and Helmstetter says there might be some growing pains.
Growing pains, what do you mean?
Well, as you change your self-talk, you might find that some things in your life don't align anymore.
Like relationships or your job.
Exactly. You might realize you've outgrown certain situations or people.
So it's like you're leveling up and some things just don't fit anymore.
Right, but those are usually positive changes. They lead you towards greater authenticity and fulfillment.
That's awesome. So it's not about being unrealistic or ignoring problems. It's about having a stronger foundation to face them.
Exactly. You're building inner resilience. Okay, but let's wrap up on a high note. What are the benefits? Why should people bother with all this?
Yeah, let's talk about the good stuff.
Well, where do we even begin? Increased self-esteem, better relationships, reduced stress and anxiety.
You might actually achieve your goals.
Absolutely. And a more positive outlook overall. It impacts every area of your life.
It's amazing to think that changing our self-talk can have such a ripple effect.
It really can. And Helmstetter reminds us we all have this incredible potential within us. It just gets buried under those negative messages.
So it's about reclaiming that potential.
Yes, stepping into the best version of ourselves.
I love that. Okay, as we wrap up this deep dive, let's leave our listeners with some key takeaways, like a 10-point summary of what we've learned.
Perfect. Let's do it.
All right, point number one, you are not your self-talk. Your thoughts are not facts, they're just programs running in your mind, and you can change them.
Point number two, most of us have been programmed with a lot of negativity, but we can overcome that programming.
Point three, negative self-talk can become a serious condition. It's called negative self-talk disorder, but it's treatable.
Point four, our brains are amazing. They're designed to change and adapt thanks to neuroplasticity.
Point five, repetition is key. The more we repeat those positive messages, the stronger the connections in our brains become.
Point six, that amazing subconscious mind of ours, it's running the show behind the scenes, so we need to make sure it's running on positive programming.
Point seven, remember Helmstetter's three-step process. Monitor, edit, listen. Those are your tools for change.
Point eight, those self-talk recordings, they're a powerful way to deliver those positive messages directly to your subconscious.
Point nine, consistency is key. This is a journey, not a quick fix. Be patient with yourself and keep practicing.
And finally, point 10, the benefits of changing your self-talk are incredible. It can transform your happiness, your success, your relationships, your whole life.
So there you have it, folks. A 10-point roadmap to reprogramming your inner voice and unlocking your full potential. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of self-talk. And remember, you have the power to change your thoughts. And in doing so, you have the power to change your life. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.